So we hear a lot about vertical force these days. What exactly is it, and how does it translate to you in the ball further? Let's take a look at what similarities Tiger Woods, Rory McIlroy and Am Van Dam have got in their movement when they swing it completely different, and how they are utilising the principles of ground force reaction to help them get more clubhead speed. So I'm going to look at vertical force and how this translates to clubhead speed. So vertical force is all about how we use that ground for power and how that translates from the ground up through the body, through the arms and into the club head. But it's a bit of a buzzword topic, lots of people are interested in it, but is it something that actually makes a massive difference to how far you can hit the ball? Now, it actually is, because what is happening is when you've used the ground, the power that you've exerted through the floor pushes its way back up through the body, and then that transfer of energy through the body does work its way out to the club head. Now we see lots of top players incorporating some squat in their transition. Probably the most famous is Rory, probably pound for pound the longest hitter in the world. Then you've got Am Van Dam, who social media wise swings it amazing. Certain videos of hers have gone absolutely viral. And then after that we've obviously got Tiger Woods, who also squats. Before we talk about this, let's just have a quick look at what these people are doing in terms of using the floor to get some more power. So, having a look here, first one is Tiger. So we've got him here hitting a 5-wood. What we'll do is take it to the top of the backswing, and we can see now that from here, halfway down, we can see that both knees are equally bent into a squat. So the way that that squat is happening here is that he is pushed into the floor and the arms are balanced with the left arm just across the body. This is my position that I absolutely love. If we have a look here with Am Van Dam, she gets into a very similar body position. Nothing like the same golf swing, but from the squat standpoint here, we can see left arm just across the chest, more in line with the right side of the upper body. Both legs are equally bent, and we've got the upper body forwards and on top of the golf ball. Now from here, we'll see that both of them have their legs almost working back behind them in this direction. So both of them work here. So what we'll see here for Tiger, we'll see how they push, and we'll see with Van Dam how they push backwards. Now, the most famous one of all of them, as we've said before, is Rory. So let's bring Rory in here, and we'll see Rory has a lot more squat coming in than a lot of the other players. So, but we can see here, here's the squat with the left arm across the body, and then from here is how those legs almost push backwards and straighten behind him. So they're going back in this direction here, which is therefore propelling the arms outwards to the ball. Now, when we have a look at those swings there, we can then see how they are able to squat through the floor. So we're getting them to the top of the backswing, and their chest is also going forwards whilst they've squatted. Both legs are equally bent and they're in the floor. And then from here, those legs push back behind them, weight goes into the left heel, and that body then opens up through the ball. And this is the key move. It's in two phases actually. The first bit is you can't use the ground if you've squatted and let that upper body go backwards. If that upper body goes to the right here, you're going to be put too far underneath it, and your path's going to be too far into out. So from here, if you push from the ground, you're only ever going to push backwards, which is going to make you really be inconsistent in terms of your strike. So what we need to do is, from that top of the backswing here, is as we get that squat, that chest feels like it's forwards and on top of the ball. So it goes in this direction here. So now the squat is that the chest has gone forwards, and at the same time the backside has gone backwards, because the upper body and the lower body work in opposites to one another. So once that chest goes forward, the backside is back. Now we're on top of the ball and we're plugged into the floor. Now when we're plugged into the floor here, as soon as this lower body pushes back behind me this way, so the bum's almost pushing back, it creates an opening of that lower body. And that is what's going to get you open through the ball. That is what we're seeing these players doing. So they're able to do the opposites. Now, how is this actually working? Well, the big key is that what they're doing is they are able to use the left toe box as the area that they push from. So what they do is, from that top of the backswing here, they push this way. So the hips stay closed for a split moment at the top of the backswing. They're not doing this. They are keeping them closed for a split moment. So the right heel remains loaded and the left forefoot remains loaded. Therefore, the hips are in this position. Now, the reaction is the weight goes from the toe and jumps back into the heel. So it jumps back into the heel, then the body gets open. And it's how you are utilising that floor to work in the opposite direction. So the longer you can store this energy for here in that transition, the later it'll pop back into the heel, and that's how you're going to get the power. So this is a huge move for you. Get something like a golf club like this, like I was just doing there, and practice at home loading like this and then using the golf club and keeping it on that angle just for a moment, and then from here try and get the feeling that the club head here is moving out to the ball there, and as it moves out to the ball you'll notice how the weight has jumped back into the heel. That's what these guys are doing, you know. This is how they're getting loads of power, this is how they're getting club head speed, this is how they're getting consistency, and they're using the floor. These are the consistent moves that they're going to utilise in order to maximise their club head speed and get the power. You'll also see that it's why that people are starting to do the jumping stuff in the gym, so box jumping, etc. Because once you get yourself loaded down, the jump back is getting that pushing movement, and it all relates to club head speed. Lastly, how actually does it relate to the club head speed is the fact of this. Once you've got yourself loaded here and you jump back with the weight, the arms can naturally work out a little bit towards the ball. I'm not saying they're throwing like this, but naturally what you're able to do is you can store the energy in the wrist for as long as possible. Gravity is impacting the club head by way of pushing it downwards. The body is slightly pushing upwards, and it means that that left wrist can uncock a little bit. The arms can begin to straighten just a fraction, and that is what's going to get the power. So we have the levers here, which is the left wrist. The right elbow straightens a little bit. The right wrist retains as much angle as it possibly can, and this is what is propelling that club head even faster, and all following that movement of the body, which is absolutely vital to the key movement, and it's the success of the movement is all coming from the push from the ground. Hopefully you found this really useful, guys, and there's some really good information in here for you. If you've enjoyed this, click on the subscribe button, give it a thumbs up and a like. As always, comment below if you would like to see more of this type of content. Thanks for watching, and talk with you again really soon.